Welcome to the West Wing Week, your guide to everything that's happening at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. This week, the president spoke on the importance of investing in infrastructure at Port Miami and on reducing gun violence while at the Denver Police Academy. He hosted the Prime Minister of Singapore and Kid President. He unveiled the BRAIN initiative and rolled, read, and relaxed with some of the thousands of visitors to the 135th annual White House Easter egg roll. That's March 29th to April 4th, or the Scientist-in-Chief.
The President of the United States, Barack Obama.
On Friday, the president traveled to the Port Miami Tunnel Project on Dodge Island, the result of 3 years of work by 500 employees and more than 6,000 subcontractors and vendors. It's projects like this one that will help reignite the true engine of our economic growth, a rising, thriving middle class.
So what are we waiting for? There's work to be done. There are workers who are ready to do it. Let's prove to the world there's no better place to do business than right here in the United States of America, and let's get started rebuilding America.
On Monday morning, kicking off the new month in the right way, the White House released a very special video.
It looks like you're expecting somebody else. But April Fool's on all y'all.
That's right, folks. On hand to help celebrate the 135th annual Easter egg roll at the White House was Kid President, along with all the fun and games the South Lawn could handle.
The Easter Bunny is here. Give Easter Bunny a big round of applause. And I just want to say welcome. You guys brought the great weather. It was a little shaky this morning, but now we've got beautiful weather.
As you can see, there's a lot of people coming to experience this. For me, I got an invite and couldn't turn it down. Having an invite from the White House, who would turn that down?
This is officially my first time to the White House. I've been to D.C. in the area and some of the official buildings before, but never the White House. I am going to be reading, and I've got some nice flowers set up to soften the mood, and I'm going to be reading Go Dog Go. There's a few car scenes in the book, so it has a good message, of course.
Later, Kid President got to see his dream come true. Some good old-fashioned one-on-one leader-to-leader time in the Oval Office with the 44th President of the United States.
How can kids and grown-ups work together to change the world?
Well, I think that the most important thing we can all do is to treat each other with kindness and respect.
On Tuesday, the president unveiled the BRAIN initiative, short for Brain Research through Advancing Innovative Neurotechnologies. It builds on the president's State of the Union call for historic investments in research and development to fuel the innovation, job creation, and economic growth that will create a thriving middle class and a bold new research effort to revolutionize our understanding of the human mind.
As humans, we can identify galaxies light years away. We can study particles smaller than an atom, but we still haven't unlocked the mystery of the 3 pounds of matter that sits between our ears.
Meanwhile, in the state dining room, the First Lady welcomed 80 high school and college students from across the country to take part in an interactive student workshop with the cast and crew of the film 42, where they talked about the film, about Jackie Robinson, and the inspiration that he's been to generations of Americans.
We watched this movie over the weekend. We walked away visibly, physically moved. They met hatred with decency. I want you all to keep that in mind. They met hatred with decency, and more importantly, they gave their absolute very best every single day.
I saw the film. It was wonderful.
Yeah.
I thought it was terrific.
Yeah.
And I think it'll be so good for young people to see this story.
For young people to see and be inspired.
Yeah, because I think, they kind of generally know, but they don't, viscerally know. They don't know in their gut.
Back in the Oval Office, the president hosted Prime Minister Lee of Singapore to the White House to discuss our strong economic and security ties and the ways that this strategic partnership can ensure the continued peace, stability, and prosperity of the Asia-Pacific region.
I spent some time in my youth in this part of the world and have a great fondness and affection for the people of Singapore. I'm extraordinarily pleased to see their great success, and I'm looking forward to a very productive discussion.
On Wednesday, the president traveled to the Denver Police Academy, where he joined a roundtable meeting hosted by Attorney General Eric Holder and discussed initiatives to reduce gun violence, including a proposal strongly backed by gun owners to close loopholes in the background check system.
Find out where your member of Congress stands on these issues. If they're not part of the 90% of Americans who agree on background checks, then ask them why not. Why wouldn't you want to make it more difficult for a dangerous criminal to get his or her hands on a gun? Why wouldn't you want to close the loophole that allows too many criminals to buy a gun without even the simplest of background checks? Wouldn't you want to make it easier rather than harder for law enforcement to do their job? If there's just one step we can take to prevent more Americans from knowing the pain that some of the families who are here have known, don't we have an obligation to try? Don't we have an obligation to try?
On Thursday, the First Lady was joined for the 5th consecutive year by school children from across the country to plant the White House kitchen garden. Mrs. Obama invited children from schools that have made exceptional improvements to school lunches through the Healthy, Hunger-Free Kids Act. To find out more information on any of these second-term springtime topics or to see complete videos of these events, go to whitehouse.gov. And thanks again for checking out your West Wing Week.
Whenever I meet guys this young who are, it's sort of like Bryce Harper, same kind of thing. You see guys already at the pinnacle of success and they have no gray hair. It's kind of depressing.